Questions I get asked a lot as a presentation coach. How do I cope with a question and answer session? The Q&A is an increasingly common part of a conference or an event or a meeting. If you're pitching for business, there'll often be questions after it. You need to manage the Q&A. One of the things to do is when you start your presentation or pitch is tell people, I'll take questions at the end, i.e. don't interrupt. Or if you've got a question, just raise your hand and ask it if you're happy to take questions as you go through. When you get to the end though, finish your presentation. Are there any questions is not the closing line of your presentation. You close it with a call to action and something that leaves a really positive final impression. You pause, and then I think a more powerful question is, a more powerful statement I should say, is I'm now ready to take your questions. So when people do start asking questions, it's always worth repeating the question back to them, just to check you've understood it and also to make sure other people in the room have heard it, because they may not have heard what was said. Answer it confidently, briefly. Don't feel you have to go into huge amounts of detail. I think it's perfectly acceptable to say, and if you want to go into more depth than that, give me a call or let's meet for a coffee and we'll go into more detail. Don't bore the audience with a long answer that may only be pertinent to that one person who asked the question. If you don't know the answer to the question, say so. Don't just BS your way through it. Just say, I actually don't know the answer to that. Let me check. I'll find out. I'll come back to you. Or you could even, if you're feeling confident, just throw it to the room. Does anybody else know the answer to that question? Or what would you normally expect of the answer to that to be? And you'd be surprised how often there'll be somebody else in the room who can answer it for you. And I don't see any problem in that. It doesn't undermine your credibility. It just says you're happy to share knowledge, both giving it out, but also to get knowledge from other people. So Q&As are not there to be feared. I know some people get absolutely terrified about it. They're feeling control in their presentation because they've controlled the content. Q&A suddenly feels much looser and more freeform. But I think if you set the parameters properly, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to shine just as much in the Q&A as you do in your presentation. If you want more tips from a presentation coach, like and subscribe.